We welcome you back here to the Rittenmeyer Center in Whiting, Indiana. Kyle Mathas here on the Heartland Sports Network as Calumet College of St. Joseph, the Crimson Wave, take on the Judson Eagles. Let's take a look at our starting lineups presented by Calumet College of St. Joseph, a place where you belong. We'll start with the visiting Eagles of Judson. Start off with their guard, a senior from Pecatonica, Illinois, Madison Carlson, who's averaging 11.6 points per game, second on the team, and she's looking to have a big game tonight in this big-time game against Calumet. She's sixth in the conference, by the way, in steals per game. Number 5, Jada Centeno, the junior from Port Orange, Florida, gets the start. She is a leader on her team, and she's played all 3 years with Judson. Number 10, Alyssa Potter, the junior from Coppell, Texas, gets the start as well. She's one of the 6 players in school history to make 7 three-pointers in a game earlier on in the season, and she was the female newcomer of the year last year in 2024. Easton Kimball, the senior forward from Rogers, Arkansas, gets the start as well. And number 23, Bridget Grady, the senior from the state of Illinois, gets the start as well. And Grady, by the way, 6.3 points per game. And Kendra Brown will not start today despite leading the team in scoring coming into this game for Judson. For Calumet, number 2, Jayana Smith, one of the best players in the conference, 12.3 points per game. And Smith is also top 5 in multiple and top 10 in multiple categories in the conference. Number 10, Priscilla Diaz. Number 11, Divine Woods. They both get the start. They're good three-point shooters. Melissa McCoy will not get the start today. It'll be number 13, Markeisha Pritchett, who will get the start, who's 10th in the conference in steals per game and also plays for the volleyball team. And number 25, Ariana Lemons, gets the start as well. She's one of the best in the conference in rebounding, 7th in the conference in offensive rebounding, so she can get going on the offensive glass. So here we go, Judson against Calumet, and we're underway. Lemons wins the opening tip. Calumet in their typical white home uniforms. Judson in their gray, I guess you could call it dark gray, road uniforms with the gold lettering. Immediately, Divine Woods trying to get off to a good start. That ball was off the mark, but tipped out of bounds by the Eagles, and Calumet will keep it. Our opening tip-off was brought to you by Central Midwest Carpenters, starting every game on a solid foundation. Both of these teams don't average as much scoring as some other teams in the conference, but when they get going, they can get going, that's for sure. Calumet, 50.5 points per game. Judson, 62.2. Diaz with a very high-arcing three-point shot. Falls in from the corner. Diaz getting off to a good start. That one tipped out of bounds by Smith, almost getting a steal, which is where she thrives. Gianna Smith. And Smith, by the way, actually third in the conference in steals. That three-pointer, by the way, brought to you by Tech Credit Union. They're the better option for your financial journey. That's a turnover by Judson. And they averaged 21.3 turnovers per game coming into this game, which is actually third worst in the conference. Judson is on an 8-game winning streak right now against Calumet. Calumet trying to break that right here. Divine Woods, a two-pointer off the mark, and the Eagles grab the rebound. Judson won both games last season. They won their home game 65-34. And they won here in Whiting 57-53 in a little bit of a closer bout. 4-point win in that one. Not able to handle the pass is Centeno, and another turnover by Judson, second of the game, within the first 1 minute, 11 seconds. Since 05, CCSJ 7-27 against the Eagles. Their first win came in 2011. It took them 6 years to beat Judson since they first played. CCSJ's last win over Judson came in January of 2020, and Priscilla Diaz is feeling it here to open the game. She's 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. It's a 6-0 lead for Calumet to open up the contest. We have a doubleheader. I want to remind you of the men's basketball game coming up later on this evening at 7:30 tip-off. Might be a little bit later than that because depending on when this game ends. Getting her own rebound is Bridget Grady, but stealing it is Pritchett. She thrives in the steals, but then she travels as she was trying to pass it to Diaz. Diaz, all 6 points actually for Calumet. We're going to see Jada Centeno checked out of the game, and Kendra Brown, the leading scorer on this Judson team, will check in. Diaz, by the way, only 6 points against IU Northwest in the loss on December 20th. Obviously, now she's at that total in the first 2 minutes of the game. Swing it down low, pump fake, layup. Comes up short, off the mark from Grady. Pass down low to Woods, swing it up top. Ooh, and Pritchett didn't need to touch that one. It deflected off of Madison Carlson first, but Pritchett tipped it out of bounds. And the last game for Judson, which was a loss to IU Northwest as well, on that game on Saturday, it was as that one goes in and out. Offensive rebound put up and put in by Bridget Grady. But for for Judson, their leading scorer in that game was Madison Carlson at 11 points, but they just didn't get good enough scoring. Getting inside was Divine Woods, and she's fouled. So she'll head to the free throw line. This trip is brought to you by IU Northwest, your future, your IU. So Divine Woods heads to the line. She had 11 points in the loss against IUN on December 20th. Gets the good roll in to hit the first of the 2 free throws. She's 56% this season from the line. And she goes 1 for 2. And look at Pritchett flying in and getting the offensive rebound. She's top 10 in the conference in offensive rebounding, mind you. Here's Diaz. Kicking it up top to Woods, getting it down low, looking for Lemons. Lemons will pull up from the free throw line, and she's off the mark. Rebounded by Brown. Kendra Brown, just a freshman, but she's so confident in the way she plays. She only had 2 points, went 1 for 10 from the field in that loss against IUN. Didn't have a good enough game by her standards. That three-pointer off the mark. Offensive rebound by Grady, and we're going to get a foul underneath. It might go on Pritchett here. And it is going to be on Pritchett. We're going to take a timeout here, called by Judson. We're going to keep it here for the timeout. First one of the game called by either coach, but Matt Richter in his 3rd season with the Eagles. And we will get more into that when we take a break. 7-2 lead for Calumet over Judson with 6:40 to play in the first quarter. We'll be back shortly. 7-2 lead for Calumet over Judson. About 4 minutes, 20 seconds into the opening quarter. 3 turnovers for Judson. So far, 2 for Calumet. And Judson with the baseline inbound after the foul by Pritchett. That timeout was brought to you by Doc's Barbecue. Take a moment, let it simmer. Doc's Barbecue, really, really good. If you have the chance, check it out. Kick it around here. Here's Kendra Brown. That's a 3-pointer. And Kendra Brown gets it to fall in. The freshman who's averaging 14 points per game hits her first shot of the game after going 1 for 10 on Saturday against IUN. Diaz traveled as she was trying to pass it over to Pritchett. Kendra Brown, by the way, also along with her teammate, is one of the only 6 players in Judson history to make 7 3-pointers in a game, which she did against Rockford back in December. She just received CCAC Offensive Player of the Week nominations yesterday, as did a couple other players for Judson and a couple Calumet players. 9 seconds on the shot clock here for Judson. They got to get something going here with Brown, who gets inside, and she's partially blocked. Here's Centeno. She's got to put it up. And after a fight for the ball, it's going to be a shot clock violation here on the Eagles. Good defense. Actually, they're going to call that a foul on Judson. It's going to go on Centeno, who picks up her first foul. And we're also going to see Maya Redmond, the freshman from Goshen, Ohio, who comes into the game for the first time. And she will have to be used because of some of the injuries, but she was a 4-year varsity starter and a 3-time conference first-team player in high school. Also played volleyball. Divine Woods checks out, and Melissa McCoy is in off the bench. Remember, one of the last times she came off the bench, she had a great performance. Led the team in scoring in that game, actually. McCoy getting inside, and we're going to get a foul. Looks like it's going to go on Kendra Brown. Both teams missing some players due to injury, some of them on break. But it's going to be interesting to see how these two coaches can adjust. Melissa McCoy makes the first one. Melissa McCoy has had a good season. Transfer from St. Francis, which is in Indiana, and actually it's pretty ironic. St. Francis in Indiana is actually ranked in the top 25 in the NAIA polls. So she transferred from a great program, and Coach Jim Davidson knows that. That's why he uses her so much. She has the experience. That ball is tipped around, and McCoy almost gets a steal. Judson picks it up here. Work it around here for Grady, getting it inside, and that one deflected out of bounds. Easton Kimball couldn't get a hand on it. Going to see a 3-person substitution. Alyssa Potter, Callie Kurzek, and Jessica Meyer come into the game. 3 players exit for Judson. Both coaches making substitutions here halfway through the first quarter. 3 seconds on the shot clock here. It's got to be Potter. And that one was blocked by Pritchett. They're going to call it a shot clock violation despite a fast break opportunity for Jayana Smith, who was uncontested. Unfortunate there for Calumet. They had 2 free points. But good defense as Judson shows full court press here. Smith is able to get by. Look at the speed from Jayana Smith. Working it up top. Working around a Diaz. Smith went to Kirkwood Community College, redshirted, went to Prairie State last season, played volleyball and softball in high school. She's top 10 in the conference in at least 5 categories. Here's Pritchett with 3 seconds on the shot clock. Pritchett had to hoist it, and it's off the mark. Here comes Brown. Kendra Brown going coast to coast. Tied up by Smith, and a jump ball. Possession favoring Judson. But Jayana Smith always getting involved. She's 3rd in the conference in steals with 34, 5th in blocks with 16. And then she's 4th in rebounds per game and 8th in offensive rebounding per game. As Katie Offman comes into the game for Diaz, who has 6 points of the 9 that Calumet has to open up the game. Getting inside, great layup. That one's too strong from Kurzak. Offensive rebound pulled in by the Eagles. Jumper on the way from Centeno. That one won't go. Rebounded by Brown. And then she can't get that one to go. So Judson gets some good looks. So we get a reach and foul, and this is going to go on Kurzak. And luckily for Centeno, that went on Kurzak because that would have been her 2nd foul. Centeno comes out. Madison Carlson comes in. But Judson on that possession gets 3 good looks. Can't get any of them to fall. The offensive rebounding is there. They try to get 30 seconds on the shot clock here. They'll give Calumet a full shot clock. Jayana Smith keeps the play alive. Pritchett. And then we get a reach and foul from Brown. And for Kendra Brown, that's going to be her 2nd. So Judson's star player is going to be in foul trouble, and she's going to have to exit for Bridget Grady. I think that's going to put Calumet in the bonus here. So they're going to have 2 free throws. And they still have 3 minutes and 49 seconds to be in the bonus. So if Calumet can get their free throws knocked down, they can extend the lead a little bit. Pritchett rattles the first one home. Pritchett had 5 points in the game against IUN on December 20th. She goes 1 for 2 from the line. Great rebound pulled in from Meyer, and then reach and foul. I think this one's going to go on Offman. Both of these teams battling. CCSJ 1-5 in the conference. Judson 2-4, right ahead of Calumet, right behind IUN and Viterbo, and then obviously St. Francis. Such a good, dominant team. They're 8-0. They're 2 games ahead of Olivet and St. Xavier. As Gianna Smith tips it out of bounds, it'll stay with Judson with 15 seconds on the shot clock. Goes up top. Here's Grady. Getting it inside now to Jessica Meyer, and going to get a foul here. I'm not too sure about that call. It's going to be on Maya Redmond, her first. And they're actually going to call this one on the floor, but they're going to get 20 seconds now on the shot clock, Judson. Getting it inside. Great inbound pass. And we're going to get another foul here. And it's going to be Bridget Grady who's going to go to the line for 2 shots. And you got to imagine with all the fouls racking up here this early on in the game, there's going to be some foul trouble down the stretch. First free throw won't go in. Bridget Grady. Second free throw goes in for Grady, who has 3 points here for Judson. She received CCAC Defensive Player of the Week nominations yesterday. Melissa McCoy straight away for 3. Won't go. Look at Offman grabbing the offensive rebound, and Katie Offman gets it to go, the freshman from Valpo. Long stretch pass intercepted by Smith. Here comes Gianna Smith. Hop step into the paint, and she's going to be fouled here. It's going to go on Alyssa Potter, her first. 12-6 lead for Calumet. 3 minutes and 4 seconds to play in the first quarter. Divine Woods will come in for Pritchett for Calumet. Also going to see Jada Centeno come into the game for Madison Carlson. Smith misses the first free throw. Calumet still needs to foul Judson one more time to put them in the bonus. Calumet's in the bonus for the remainder of the first quarter. As Smith misses both. Rebound tipped around, and they're going to say that one off of Judson last. Both coaches calling out plays here, trying to get their teams ready for the inbound pass. 20 seconds on the shot clock. They go up top. Redmond's able to reel it in. Offman has trouble with that one, and a travel. So another mistake here for Calumet. And both teams are turning the ball over consistently here in this game so far. Judson, like I mentioned previously, averaging over 21 per game, turnovers that is. Calumet averaging just under 21 per game. Both of these teams top 3 in the conference in turnovers per game. There's not a stat line you want to be top 5 for. Three-pointer from the corner. Oh, and that one was halfway down and came back out. And there's a lot of fouls being called in this game right now. As that one was off the mark, and then Centeno's call for, I believe that's going to be her second foul. So she's going to have to come out of the game. There's a lot of fouls, so players are going to have to adjust. Maybe not reach in as much. First free throw won't go for Offman. Second one goes in. Offman came up a little bit gimpy after that foul called. Both teams playing pretty physical. They got to be careful because the refs are quick in calling fouls. So we have some foul trouble already, and we're only in the first quarter. Grady. Oh, Bridget Grady with a nice move into the paint. She can't finish. Gets her own rebound. Good offensive rebound there. They reset. Grady again, blocked by Smith. It goes out of play. Going to see Lemons check back into the game for Calumet, coming in for Redmond. And then we see Bree Kidd coming into the game for Offman. It's good to see Bree Kidd back into the game. She was dealing with some injuries just in the month of November and December. She couldn't play for a little bit. It's good to see her back in and playing here for Calumet. They need players. They've dealt with a lot of injuries. Three-pointer off the mark. Offensive rebound pulled in. Another foul called. The offensive rebound there from Jessica Meyer, and she's going to go to the line for two. I wonder, doesn't seem like these players can really reach in that much. And any shot, let alone any possession, because the officials are quick to call. Second free throw goes in, 1 for 2 from the line for Meyer. She gets her first point of the game. She'll check out, and coming in will be Easton Kimball. But both teams in the bonus. They've been in the bonus for at least a minute, both of them. But the fouls are racking up for both teams. Divine Woods kicks it up top to Kidd. She's a lethal three-point shooter, Bree Kidd. Still a minute 40 to go in the first quarter here in Whiting. Woods kicks inside, puts it up and off glass and in. Divine Woods took her a minute to get back on the score sheet. She scored early in the game, but was sitting on the bench for a couple minutes to get a rest, and now she's got 4. Good defense by Jayana Smith on Carlson. 12 seconds on the shot clock here for Judson. They go inside to Grady. Bridget Grady loves the post up. Can't get that one to go, and then it's McCoy grabbing the rebound for Calumet. Here it's Woods. Woods gets inside, and she's blocked. Calumet can reset. They don't really need to be in a hurry here. That one deflects out of bounds off of Callie Kurzak. Going to see Priscilla Diaz come in for Jayana Smith. Smith still yet to get on the scoring sheet here, but we know that she can score 12.3 points per game. She leads the team. 17 on the shot clock here for Calumet, 50 on the game clock. Looks like it might be zone defense here for Judson. Calumet need to be aware of that. McCoy goes inside, which is exactly what you need to do against zone defense. That one tips out of bounds. It's going to stay here with 1 second on the shot clock. Calumet needs to be very aware of this here. 1 second, they need to get a shot up. Actually, they're going to change their call. They're going to change their minds, the referees, and give it to Judson. About an 8-second difference between shot and game clock here to end the first quarter. It's been a long first quarter because of the amount of fouls that have been called. There's been at least 8 fouls called on each side. Carlson works it up top. Pump fake here for Potter. Alyssa Potter getting inside. Kicking underneath for Kimball. Kimball gets inside, puts up a shot, and puts it in with 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Calumet's got to hurry. And Woods is tripped up and stolen by Callie Kurzak. And Kurzak can't get that one to fall. But then Judson's able to score at the buzzer. And that'll end the first quarter here in Whiting. Judson gets a little spark of life with a 4-0 run in the final 10 seconds of the quarter. And it's 15-11 Calumet at the end of one. We'll be back for the second quarter after this break on the Heartland Sports Network. Welcome you back after our break, presented by Powers Health Hydration. Fuel up, stay strong, stay powered. Kyle Mathas here in Whiting. Start of the second quarter, 15-11 lead for the Crimson Wave. Trying to get off to their are back to their winning ways after they beat Mount Mary, but they lost to IU Northwest. Started the second quarter, 5 turnovers apiece for each team. Judson out-rebounding Calumet by 6 rebounds and 5 offensive rebounds. But overall, Calumet shooting better from 3 and the field. As we are underway here in the second quarter, Calumet gets the ball first. Possession arrow belongs to Judson. Zone defense here for the Eagles. This might actually help them out. It's very difficult to break down zone defense. Go inside to Lemons, kick it underneath. Jump shot on the way, off the mark by Pritchett. Rebounded by the Eagles. Bounce pass up ahead to Callie Kurzek. Kurzek gets it up top to Kimball. Kimball puts it up, and another tough miss goes right into the corner. And that three-pointer is nothing but nylon for Alyssa Potter, who gets herself on the scoring sheet. She had one earlier in the first quarter that was halfway down and came back out. That one rattles home for her. Diaz had a great start to the game. She's been quiet. Lemons puts it up, and it gets the nice roll in for Ariana Lemons, who's now also on the scoring sheet. Still a 3-point lead for Calumet, but you know this game is probably going to go down to the wire. Unless Judson turns the ball over like that. Gets it up ahead to Smith. Smith's got Woods with her, and Jayana Smith can't get the roll to fall. It tips around, and Jayana Smith narrowly misses out on 2 points. Full court pressure being applied here by Woods. Kicks it down low, and here's Kurzek. Kurzek gets inside, and she realized after a little bit that nobody was defending the inside, and she puts up the easy right-handed layup. Make it a 1-point game. That one's tipped out of bounds. It's going to belong with Calumet. 19 on the shot clock here. Carlson's out. It's Centeno who's in. McCoy comes in for Calumet. Divine Woods is back on the bench. Judson doing a better job this season at assists per game. 14.2 for the Eagles, 10.3 for the Crimson Wave. It's just a matter of swinging the ball around more compared to fast break points, which Calumet does well with fast break. Up top, McCoy launches a 3. That one won't go. Tipped around, rebounded by Smith. She's 4th in the conference in rebounding per game for a reason, but that shot well defended and off the mark. Here comes Centeno up top for Potter. Swinging it around here for Grady. Works it up top, Centeno. Centeno doubled up underneath. Get it up top. That one's tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with Judson. 11 seconds on the shot clock. We appreciate all of you joining us from at home, watching this game here on the Heartland Sports Network. Wrong player to leave open for 3, and Alyssa Potter knocks down the 3 to give the Eagles the lead. The first of the game for Judson early in the second quarter. 2-point lead for the Eagles, and Potter has 6 points. Diaz trying to answer, gets by, puts up the floater, and Priscilla Diaz off glass and in. She didn't score, or hasn't scored, since the first 6 points of the game, and now she's able to tie the game up. Centeno working it up top to Potter. Calumet's switching a lot. We'll see if Judson decides to go with some pick and rolls to make things more difficult for them. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Working it inside, and the music started playing in the middle of the play. Didn't matter. Callie Kurzek ends up getting the shot to go anyways through the music. I mean, at that point, you just act like it's warm-ups and just play through the music. I think a little bit of audio technical difficulties here on the PA system. 12 on the shot clock as Judson's regained the lead. Lemons gets inside, hop steps into the paint, and we're going to get a travel here on Ariana Lemons as Lemons comes out and Maya Redmond is back in, and Kendra Brown is back in for Bridget Grady. Crimson Wave are going to take a timeout here with Coach Davidson. We'll keep it here. 4 minutes into the second quarter, and actually they're going to say it's immediate timeout. So we'll take a break. 2-point lead for Judson. They've come all the way back, and they've taken the lead midway through the second quarter here on the Heartland Sports Network. Starting here for Judson, they're not able to convert after the media timeout. That timeout brought to you by Doc's Barbecue. Take a moment, let it simmer. And anytime I get the chance to talk about Doc's Barbecue, I'll take that chance. Anytime I can mention barbecue. Some of the best barbecue in Northwest Indiana, that's for sure. Here's Melissa McCoy. Works it up top. Pritchett a three. That one off the mark. Pulled in and brought ahead by Centeno. Centeno gets it ahead. Uncontested underneath and a big miss. Oh, Kimball, had it open. Here's Smith instead, and Smith can't get that one to go, and she's upset at herself. She knows she doesn't miss those opportunities very often. Those are rare for her to miss. She just hasn't gotten it going yet. Luckily, there's still about 3.5 quarters to play. That shot goes in from the corner. Alyssa Potter is on fire right now from beyond the arc. 9 points, and she has been consistent with those 3-point shots. She's 3 for 5 from beyond the arc. Gianna Smith gets inside. A turnover by Calumet, their 7th of the game. Good spin move here by Kendra Brown. Kicks it up top to Kurzak. Gets inside, puts it up. Can't get that one to fall. She got her own rebound. Jumper from the elbow. Won't fall for Kimball. And Calumet's going to slow things down here. They want to take a little bit of time to recuperate and kind of reset things. As Smith goes inside, Gianna Smith can't get the bucket to go, but she's fouled. She'll go to the line for 2. It's crazy. Each team, or Judson had 8 fouls in the first quarter. Calumet had 5. Both teams were in the bonus with 2 minutes and 30 seconds to play, but that's the first foul of the second quarter here with about 6 minutes in. So it took a while, both teams getting it together. I bet both coaches kind of got into their teams during the break about the fouls. Gianna Smith gets the first one to roll. That's her first point of the game. You'd imagine if Calumet can get her going in the scores column, things will be going very right for the Crimson Wave. Smith goes 2 for 2. The junior from Marshall High School, Gianna Smith. 2 points for her. Good defense by Pritchett. Almost forced the steal. Looking it around to Grady. Bridget Grady getting inside. Finds the roll. And we get a travel here on Jessica Meyer. But the vision is there for Judson. The pick and rolls are working very, very well. I think Coach Richter and Judson are seeing that pick and roll might be the play calls for the next couple of possessions, because that play worked out well if it wasn't for the travel. Bree Kidd checked into the game for Calumet. Bounce pass to Smith. Look at how much room she has underneath, and Gianna Smith finishes with the left hand. And look out, Judson, because Gianna Smith is starting to get things going. Work it. That's a three-pointer. Comes up short on the attempt from Kendra Brown, who started off the game kind of on fire, and she's kind of cooled off since. Here's Pritchett. Diaz. 10 seconds on the shot clock for the Crimson Wave, and they really haven't gotten anything going here. Get it inside to Redmond. Tipped out of play. Calumet keeps it with 6 seconds on the shot clock. Here we go. So it's going to be Diaz who's going to inbound it. Got to imagine this is a setup here for Gianna Smith. No, they're going to go to Redmond. Back to Diaz, a three-pointer from the corner. Oh, and a good play call there from Calumet, but the finishing touch just not there. Judson goes inside, kick it to the corner. Lemon's ready to check back into the game as that shot won't go for Bridget Grady. You know, besides Alyssa Potter, Judson has cooled off here in the second quarter as Smith, a lot of contact, can't get that shot to go. Doubled up, Pritchett on the ground, fighting for it. They're going to say Pritchett traveled, no jump ball. Really doesn't matter. It would have given possession to the Eagles anyways. Maya Redmond checked out of the game. Ariana Lemons back in for Calumet. Jim Davidson, 35 years in coaching career, third season with Calumet. Went to Munster High School. He had a two-time stint, two different stints with Munster. Highland High School. He played baseball for Purdue. So I bet Coach Davidson's got quite the arm. There's a turnover from Judson again. Still a 1-point Eagles lead. Get it inside of Lemons. Trying to find Smith, but that one over her head and out of play. Really, Calumet is getting some good opportunities. They're forcing turnovers, but then they turn the ball over themselves. The difference between Judson and Calumet right now is that Judson is turning the ball over off of sustained defensive pressure. Calumet's turning the ball over just off of mistakes. There's a big miss by Grady, who is open underneath on the cut. Under 2 minutes to play in the half. Diaz. Oh, the no-look pass to Bree Kidd. And that one's short. It was on target, but it's short. Kidd almost got a steal. Said they kick it to the corner. Three-pointer on the way. Short again from Brown. Offensive rebound. Carlson posting up on Smith, and Gianna Smith is going to get called for the reach. That's going to be her second. It's only the first foul of the quarter by Calumet. We only have 1:23 to play. That's actually incredible, based on the fact that they had 5 fouls committed in the first 7 minutes of the first quarter. That one goes in for Carlson. Able to extend the lead to 3 if she can make this one. And she rattles that home. Carlson's got 4, 26-23 lead for Judson. Both teams kind of right on track of their points per game total this season. Judson a little bit higher than Calumet up to this point in the year. Bree Kidd gets another look for 3, and she rattles that one home. You know, Bree Kidd came up short and airballed on the previous possession, but she did not allow that to get in her mind. She hits the next three-pointer that she's offered and ties the game. And then a big steal by Lemons. And we're going to get a reach-in foul here on Kimball. (26-26), 55 seconds to go in the half. Calumet's going to use a little bit of clock here. They're going to run it down at the end of the first half. I think you'd imagine they want to take the lead into halftime. That's probably the goal right now with them running the clock down for Coach Davidson. Kidd trying to look for Lemons, and she turns it over. There's going to be about a 5-second difference between shot and game clock to end the half. I want to remind you, they'll have some halftime stats about a few minutes into halftime, so stay tuned for that. Judson's going to be content with running the clock down as much as they could possibly afford at the end of the second quarter. Coach Matt Richter calling the plays. Coach Richter went to Valparaiso University. Good look here for Potter for 3, and she misses. And here's Smith, who has Lemons streaking uncontested down the court. Smith keeps it herself. Lemons puts it up at the buzzer. And Ariana Lemons gives Calumet the lead at halftime. 28-26 lead for the Crimson Wave after 20 minutes. We'll take a break and bring it to halftime. 28-26 lead for Calumet over Judson at the half. We'll be back for some halftime stats after this.